knocked loose. White dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor. They try to
Save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Got it. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
Wayne Spooney here for First to the Floor podcast, but far more importantly, he has returned from the northern Far East to the southern Far East, back to Australia. Jake Eisenberg, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back. It was a good time to go away. None of these games matter, but at the same time, I definitely missed being in the trenches with you boys and with everybody listening and everybody in the Discord. I was feeling the itch to get back, especially after the Grizzlies game. But Japan is very cool, lots of good food. I would definitely go back. Maybe a very random highlight, but every convenience store sells Pokemon cards at the register, or most of them. So I probably spent like $100 on Pokemon cards, and every time my wife's like, "What are you gonna do with these cards?" I'm like, "Nothing. I want is the mini dopamine hit, and the disappointment of like 90% of the cards, me either not knowing the new generations or them just being bad. But it was fun. It was a fun couple of weeks, but good to be back.
I know, dude, I have no idea. I'm an original 151 man. I will stay an original 151 man for the rest of my life. So I love Pokemon, but I have absolutely no idea. There's like 1,000 of them now. It's gone completely out. Like a parachute is like a Pokemon now. It's ridiculous. But rant aside, so today we're going to do, look, it's the doldrums of the season, right? These last couple weeks really are meaningless. The Celtics are locked into the 2 seeds.
Why are there games now?
I know,
don't even,
right? Yeah.
No.
Give them a month off and then start the fucking playoffs. But so we're going to do something fun. We're going to redraft the 2024 NBA draft. We did 2020 on the Patreon a while back, had a lot of fun. We will probably do a bunch of drafts on the Patreon over the summer. When we're fishing for content. First, we should probably talk about this bullshit Miami Heat game, 121-103. Where are you at? This is obviously a massive loss. Huge, means a lot for the season. Where are you at, Jake?
Man, so 9-game winning streak and the last frontier for this team. Can they win a game after a road trip? And the answer is no. 0-6. Like, I don't know if it's just this team, but I swear like they're so predictable. Like there was that stretch where every time, again, double-digit favorites at home, lose, 9-game winning streak, can't get it done. I was thinking about it. I think it's just a human thing because it's a trend. It's a cliche for a reason, right? Like these things don't come out of nowhere. But as someone that just came back from a trip, there is like this emotional like release, I guess, after you like finish, like you finally come home and you just kind of like, firstly your sleep's all screwed up. And I will say my first shift back yesterday, teaching swimming, did not want to go firstly. And at the end of the classes with the really young kids, we do this thing where all the parents are around the mat and like I put the kid up on the mat and they either crawl or walk and then jump off the end to their parent. And I usually like put the kid up and sometimes they're between like crawling and walking and the kid will try and walk and I'm like, he's going to fall off the side. So I'll like make him crawl. And this kid, Ted, shout out Ted, took 2-3 steps. I'm like, he's good to go. I've moved on to the next kid pretty much. And then I look up and he goes head first off the side of the mat. It's fine. There's heaps of parents around. Like, you know, I'm 1.3 seconds away from being able to grab him myself anyways. There's no chance of him actually drowning. But like, if I had not come back from a road trip and not slept on the journey in the red eye home, would I have been like slightly more locked in and prevented this potentially scarring moment for Ted? But Ted he was the least worried out of anybody. He had a great time falling off the side of the mat. But I was like, me and the Celtics, same.
Ted is an amazing name for a child too. Like
Yeah, I
baby
know.
Ted is fucking hilarious.
I know.
I will say the Celtics had their Ted moment yesterday.
Yeah.
Tatum especially was just completely not up for this game. Like he just did not care. He was home back with the wife and kids, and he just was firing up bullshit shots, not really trying. I will say, like, classic Heat fashion, they were extraordinarily physical. I feel like you could have called a foul every single defensive possession when we had the ball. That didn't happen, of course. And like Pele Larson's like trying to get into people's faces, and it's like, bro, you
Come
guys
on,
are
man.
on like 7 games under 500. This game means
They're
nothing
hot,
to
though.
us. They
Six
are
games,
hot. 6 in a row.
7.
Yeah.
Was that 6 in a row with that Celtics win?
I believe that was 6 with the
Okay.
Celtics win. So,
Hey, man.
but like a lot of shooting variance, right? Heat go 46%, we
Yeah.
go 28% from 3. And we only had one center because
Oof.
Xavier Tillman can't play basketball anymore. Were you able to watch was it the Grizz game? At
Yeah,
all,
I was
Jake?
able to
Yeah.
watch the Grizz game.
Yeah,
and
it was rough.
I love the concept of, coming home, Xavier Tillman, got family and people that want to come see him play probably. And that's great. Similar to how the Timberwolves let Joe Ingles start. So Joe Ingles' autistic kids could see him play in person for the first time in a long time. Awesome. Great story. These games don't really matter. But we essentially spotted the Grizzlies like 17, 12, 10 points, whatever it was, because it was brutal. I thought physically he actually didn't look that bad in those minutes. Like, bad enough to the point where he can't play in a game like yesterday. That I guess is the bar. Like, my biggest problem with the Tillman thing is when he does play, we're using him like he's Al Horford. And it's like, why are we spacing him out to the corner? It's like no fucking surprise at the beginning of the second half of that Grizzlies game that the ball, it reminded me of the Marcus Smart thing a little bit. It's like the ball found him on every single possession because the entire defense is like, it is so clear who we're going to help off.
Yeah.
And especially when he's camped out in the corner or above the break. And so that's like my biggest problem with when he actually does play. It's like, why are we using him like he's Horford and not using him like he's Cornette? Because he has the passing and IQ, maybe not at the same level as Cornette at this point. But that was like the theory with Tillman offensively. The fact that he can't get into the game yesterday is mind-boggling. Because it's like, what? Physically, they don't have any problem actually putting him out there because he started the first and second half of the Grizzlies game. So you tell me he can't try him in the Heat game? That is, damning is probably the word for it.
Really bizarre not to just at least put him out there and not make Jason Jason Tatum doesn't have to play the 5 some, but I thought like he definitely looks physically a lot better than he did at the beginning of the season. I don't feel like he looks physically at his peak. He just looks really slow to me right now, man. And it's not like he was ever fast.
That's the thing.
But he's like ploddingly slow right now. And no player has proven the value of vertical spacing more than Xavier Tillman with his lack of it. Because you can do the passing short roll stuff with Tillman that you can with Cornette, but he can't punish the defense if they just play up high or play a higher drop and cut off the short roll pass because you can't lob it over the top to him. So the defense can just cheat against the short roll, takes that away. He can't play in the fucking dunker spot because he can't dunk. So I don't you're totally right. Using him as a spacer is the worst way to use him. You should at least have him set screens and short roll and try to make plays out of that. But I'm not sure there's an option for him offensively right now with the way he's playing. Other than if he can start shooting it, which is not going to happen. So Jack Simone owes you a drink or $20, whatever that was, Jake.
Yeah, he's not going to get to the attempts, but boy, he is 5 for 32 on the season, which is 15.6. That is a career low for everybody that told me that Xavier Tillman was going to be a 3-point shooter coming into the season. But, alas, the victory lap that I've taken many, many times on the Xavier Tillman 3-point shooting. You gotta at least try him in the big man spots, I think. And also you in and out of the lineup, and not just in and out of the lineup, like out of the lineup, out of the lineup, out of the lineup, and then a very, very, very small sprinkle of in the lineup. You're kind of setting anybody up to fail, I think, with that type of utilization. Like, to find a rhythm and confidence, like, you're gonna look slower when you're indecisive. Yeah. I think part of it is like he never is fast, and in like Game 3 of the NBA Finals, you go back and watch it, he's not necessarily looking explosive. I think he's just decisive and using the tools he does have available to him, like with his IQ. Like, that's what made him the defensive guy, the guy that ranked so highly in like defensive EPM and stuff like that. Was he kind of knew what he wanted to do, whereas right now it looks both slow and indecisive. But again, I don't want to even read too much into what's actually happening on the court because it's such a small sample.
Yeah, it really is. And that's a great point about being indecisive, and that, if you are a dude who is not supremely athletic, even guys who are athletic, like look at Walsh, he sometimes looks kind of slow because he doesn't feel totally comfortable when he's out there. So it's compounding the fact that he already is not the most athletically inclined player. And then like just seeing the ball swing to him wide open, he has to take that shot. He cannot hijack the entire offense, because he did a few times where he would just like put it on the floor and get into a handoff or something, but it was just going nowhere. And Luke has gotten so good at like, Tillman would like catch it, be like, shit, should I really shoot this? No,
Again,
I'm going to get it. Yeah, I'm 0 for 4 right now. I'm going to get into a handoff now. Whereas Luke's like catch, dribble, handoff, roll, like throw it over the top. Oh, now I'm coming back. I'm getting back to the high post. Now, like the way Luke's movement and fluidity on the offensive end is at such a absurdly higher level than Tillman's right now. And I certainly think, one, part of that is like Luke Cornett has just gotten fucking really good now. And two, it's the lack of play time for Tillman, like you said. For sure, he can look better than he did in Memphis. And Z Gamer said in the chat, Bam is kind of a perfect matchup for Tillman. Yeah. So like, what's going on here?
I don't understand. Yeah. And so the Tillman thing, man, it's April with the 2 seed locked up, because we just did 5 minutes on Xavier Tillman.
Yep.
But yeah, it's truly a confounding thing to me, because I feel like I don't truly know if he stinks or his knees are cooked or not, because I just don't think I've seen enough like play him 4 games in a row. The fact that he can't play in these games right now, you said it, damning, or they don't trust his body or whatever, because like this would be the time to be like, I don't know, can he find anything, a rhythm, anything? Doesn't seem like we're going to find out, because he can't even play in the game yesterday. The other thing that I wanted to talk about from this game was the Tatum at the 5, or Tatum/Torrey Craig at the 5. And hand up, I've been the guy that has been begging to see some Tatum at the 5. Now, I haven't been begging to see Tatum at the 5 with Peyton Pritchard and Torrey Craig out there at the same time. I think
Baylor might have snuck out there too in one of those lineups. Yeah.
For Tatum at the 5 to succeed, it needs to be your best lineup. It needs to have Jaylen Brown out there, because like that's going to be your pseudo 4-5, the hyper athletic, switch everything, good defender thing, because Torrey Craig has been doing a lot of the things that I think that you said that he would be doing, like being bad at basketball,
yes,
especially yesterday. But like it needs to be Derek, Drew, Jalen, Jason, and Hauser. Like that needs to be the 5 probably. And I understand the rebounding and defensive concerns, but the idea is that you're going to play fast, you're going to be able to switch everything, and you'll be able to punish matchups. Tatum wasn't punishing any matchups yesterday. Like. No. It's also not going to, like, you really tried the Tatum at the 5 thing on the after the road trip. You really coming after me, Joe, by setting Tatum and that lineup up to fail. It felt like it needs to be the right environment, and also I got to see more of it. Like the way they were playing defense, the rim protection was brutal, but also I was like, why are you hugged up to Bam? That's why you reminded me of the Tatum at the 5 stuff. It's like Bam and Ware, you don't need to guard at the 3-point line. No. Like why the rim protection is not going to be the same as Cornet, but you also can still be there to try and protect the rim. It was like, 1, you're getting cracked off the dribble, Sam Hauser, by Pell Larson and getting dunked on. 2, there's no one at the rim to help at all either. So it was a variety of problems. I still am a believer that it can work in certain situations, but I need to see more. I need to see in the right spots.
The old switch absolutely nothing defense. It was brutal. That was one of our worst defensive. Miami is a dog shit offense, and they dropped 121 on us, and we're in like the 96th percentile in the half court, 98th percentile in the half court for offensive efficiency. I would bet that is Miami's highest offensive half court efficiency of the season. Maybe our worst defensive performance of the season. Everybody just looked, other than I thought Jaylen offensively at least looked okay. And maybe it's time to move over to talking about Jaylen because you can't see our run sheet, but Jake has some serious Pepe Sylvia vibes going on with like the timeline laid out like he's uncovering a grand conspiracy. So I'm looking forward to that. But just really quick, I think the thing for me about Tatum at the 5 is like, you can kind of recreate the offensive potency of that with KP or Horford out there because you can space all 5 positions and both those guys can put it on the floor and you still get the elite rim protection with those guys. So I don't know. Is it worth putting the miles on him? There is probably matchups or a playoff matchup where it makes sense to go to it, but it's not been super impressive so far.
No, but again, but the sample is so small. They did it a little bit in the Pacers series last season as well. Terrible as well. C Gamer, I wish I had faith in Tatum small ball 5 that you did, Jake. That's fair. Like, I could be doing the Tillman 3-ball thing in the way that I'm doing the Tatum small ball 5 thing. I think there's more to it than that. But, like, I'm not saying that I believe in it more than Horford or Porzingis at the 5. I'm just saying that it would be nice to have the curveball that we heard about with the zone or whatever that we've tried to do relatively unsuccessfully as well this season. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's interesting that we haven't tried it really at all. And then you decide to try it in a spot that's like, well, it all goes back
already getting cooked at the rim.
It goes back to Tillman not really being an option and Cato struggling a lot yesterday as well. So I'm a believer. One day we're gonna see it. Two more years once Tatum puts on another like 10 pounds of muscle, maybe then we'll get there.
Yeah, and I will say the more functional, positive lineups you have, the better, right? Because then you're just more versatile. There's more types of matchups you can go to in playoff series. So it's certainly worth exploring. And I think like the fact Joe's played it like 5 times in a year and a half is like, it should be more often than that so we can at least see what it looks like a little bit, which we have not done. Anyway, Jaylen Brown, his stats on the face look great. I do still think he did not look 100% to me. It looked like he had some times where he almost came up lame a little bit, and he was like kind of struggling with the leg there. But 24, 9, and 4 on 10 of 20. Little turnover happy, but I don't know. Where are we on? Where are you at on Jaylen right now, Jake? Because it's a weird spot.
Well, I just realized that Tatum was 4 for 17. Didn't even realize it was
brutal.
Bad.
It was brutal.
I knew it was bad. Man. Jaylen, man. Yeah, dude. I thought he was limping for half the game. I thought that, because that was pretty much, I spent the entire game watching him because I think 9-game winning streak, everything has been looking great. Tatum's 3-ball has started to kind of waver a little bit lately. That would be the other thing, but I think
taking
broadly,
some bad ones, though.
Agreed.
He's taking some bad ones. Anyway,
agreed.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I think that's a part of it right now is that he's like just chucking up some junk at the moment, and yesterday was a good example of that. Yeah. But Tatum's looked awesome. Hauser's been shooting the shit out of the ball. Cornet's been ridiculous. Horford is rejuvenated. Porzingis is putting up like 24 on 70% true shooting. Like, you go down the lineup, tick, tick, tick. Derek White, just, doing Derek White stuff. Everyone across the lineup that you need in the playoffs has been fantastic. Jaylen's the last piece of the puzzle for me to be like, we're winning the title. Yeah. And that's why yesterday I was like, I'm watching him as closely as I can. And I thought that every time he landed, he didn't want to land on the knee that was sore. He do a little hop on his left leg. I thought he would he did that spin move and finish, looked awesome, and then kind of limped back the other way. He blew a layup down one end and kind of looked like he limped getting back on defense and gave up the and one on the other end. And I'm just watching it being like, why is he playing? Why is he playing? And the reporting kind of is like, it's a bone bruise, impingement, and again, I don't know. I'll go back to you. How do you think he looked / felt out there?
I don't know, because there were possessions where he'd get the switch onto Tyler Hero, bully him, get right to the rim, look like old Jaylen Brown. But then there was just way too much of what you were talking about with the limping and being ginger on the leg. And this is some 76ers bullshit, man. This is what the Sixers do. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and playing Jaylen Brown right now when he's admitting he's not 100% to the press is fucking dumb. There is absolutely no reason to do it. It's very un-Celtics-y to be having him play right now. This game is me. I know he wants to get into a rhythm for the playoffs. Do that in the first round. We will not need Jaylen Brown. Yeah, maybe even in the second round against the Knicks. We will not need 100% of Jaylen Brown to start the playoffs. Play yourself back into shape or back into rhythm during that, because it can only get worse to me if he's playing right now. Is it magically going to be because I know some injuries you need to play on them and it gets better, I guess, but this just terrifies me that we're Joel Embiiding this shit. Obviously, it's not going to be that bad, but you know what I mean? It's the same type of thing where it's unclear exactly what it is. He's playing on it, but he's hobbling the whole game, and everyone's like, what is going on? I'm stressed out, Jake. I'm stressed out.
So that's a great comparison. I hadn't thought about that. I've just been thinking 09 KG vibes, right?
Yeah, there you go.
You win the title, you come back the next year, there's a bunch of things to point to, this team might even be better in some ways than the team in the previous season. But this Celtics medical staff has given us no reason to not trust them. Believe in the Australians, I believe, is what we should be doing. And if you listen to this podcast, maybe that might help you a little bit, because this medical team has been great. Look at Luke Cornett. We can't stop hearing about the Australians every time he does something on the NBC Sports broadcast, which I appreciate. But Sam Howell's back. That was a problem earlier in the season. That seems to have been something that they've dealt with. That seemed like it was tricky to deal with. Go up and down the roster. They've been really, really good with how they've managed Horford. They've been really good with how they've managed Porzingis, who's playing the best basketball that he's played, essentially.
Drew's
as a
mallet
Boston
finger.
Celtic. Yeah, Drew's mallet finger. What's going on? Can we just get normal injuries, please? Besides these never heard of ankle injuries for Porzingis, 1940s, scurvy injury on Drew's finger, and now Jaylen's knee thing here. Yeah, Celtics PR have straight up told us, no, you cannot have the Australians on the pod, which is just ridiculous.
We are Celtics the Australians on the pod, damn it.
God damn it. Anyway, they've given us no reason to not trust that they know what they're doing. And so I find it hard to believe that if the medical staff thought that resting the knee would be better for the knee, that he wouldn't be resting. Jaylen in the press conference yesterday said, I'm not playing because I want to get to 65 games. I know I've said that Jaylen can be vague sometimes. That was very direct.
Yeah.
I don't think that he would lie about that. And also, there's nothing to be gained by him getting third team All-NBA for him outside of the actual award, which is cool. But what's he valuing? The fucking finals MVP that he just got, or another third team All-NBA after he's already secured the Supermax contract? There's not really, I don't think, a point to pushing through an injury and, risking the bigger picture for a third team All-NBA selection. So I believe him when I say he's not prioritizing that. So I have to take all of that in consideration. We were talking about it in the Discord last night, like talking to my dad about it. Everyone's talking about it because, like, what else is there to talk about right now than Jaylen Brown's knee?
Xavier Tillman.
It's like they've given us no reason to not trust them. He wouldn't be playing. I don't think if they didn't think that playing on it would either be better for it or playing on it would make it worse.
I think you're totally right. We need to give this medical staff the benefit of the doubt. I think they've handled Porzingis really well, considering all the maladies that dude gets every time he walks, right? I mean, like, they've clearly not rushed him back. They've taken their time with him, and looks the best he's looked maybe since he's come here as we're rolling into the playoffs here. So, like, I can't think of a single injury this new team has mismanaged, so I'm going to trust them. But I also can't help my anxiety and help myself from panicking about it because we need Jaylen Brown to win the title. And Troy says he needs to keep moving to maintain his physical fitness. I guess that's good for a bone bruise. I have no idea. You can do that without playing an NBA game.
I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So anyway, trust the Australians, I think, is the takeaway there. So, Jake, do you have anything else on that? Otherwise, we should probably get to the ad read, which I will run for you, and then we can draft up 2024.
I would just say something to make us feel a little bit better because I did go back and break down when it happened, right? So it happened in the Knicks game on 8th of February, and then he missed the 2 games before the All-Star break, and then he obviously had a good amount of time off. Played the first 3 games out of the All-Star break, didn't play the back-to-back versus the Pistons. Then plays the next 3 games, which includes the Cleveland game where he scored 37 points and looked awesome. Didn't play the back-to-back, played the next 3 games, which included the Lakers game in which he shut down Luka and had 31 points and 25 shots. And I can go through it. It kind of looked like it got a little bit worse as time went along because it's like he missed the next 3. He missed a 3-game stretch, which included that Jazz and Blazers game where they had all that time off. Played the next 3, looked great in the Suns game. Missed the Grizz game. And then played last night where he looked bad. I also missed he played against the Nets and looked weird. Played 25 minutes and 8 points and 8 shots. I don't know. It's hard to really discern too much. I guess the positive takeaways, in that stretch, you've got maybe his 2 best games of the season since the injury. So that would be, if you're looking for something to cling on to, those 2 games plus the Suns game where he looked awesome. And even last night, the production is the production. Yeah. Doesn't actually, so take that for what we will.
Yeah, man. And I've always said he's a feel player. He needs to play himself into feeling comfortable on the court. So him being able to string a couple games together, I think as long as there's no chance of it hurting the knee more, I think will be a good thing. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Trust the Australians. All right. Prize picks, Jake. Here we go. Ready?
Let's do it, baby. Prize picks, baby. Playoffs right around the corner. Celtics are cruising along here. The Celtics are, 9 in a row. We're not going to count the game yesterday. But playoffs are coming. It's March Madness. Time to fire out some prize picks. Spoonie, you put me on to future Celtics legend Alex Condon. So just hit the more rebounds for him. Or another future Celtics legend playing in March Madness at the moment, Cooper Flagg. Maybe just go more on points or rebounds or assists on the Jason Tatum of college basketball right now. Or as I've mentioned, Porzingis is just absolutely hooping right now. So just go more on Porzingis points. But yeah, go download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.
Sweet. PrizePicks, super fun. Check it out. Definitely hit those Alex Condon more or less.
I was going to ask you, so quick March Madness aside here, you're right about Florida. They're cooking here. Do you have any predictions or any March Madness takes from past couple of weeks?
So I will regret to inform you that I'm not an Alex Condon guy. I really do not like his game. Shit. But I know, I'm sorry. So I kind of hope we don't draft him, but I trust Brad.
Trust the Australians.
Exactly. Yeah, it's spot on, man. I'm sensing a theme tonight. I picked Houston from the beginning. They're in the Final Four. It's all 1 seeds.
Yep.
Shout out March Madness. I think they're really deep. They're really physical. They play really hard. Ralph Sampson's one of the best coaches probably in college basketball history. So I got to keep riding with them, even though I think Duke has looked the best. But all of Florida's games have been the most fun. Their most recent game was ridiculous. Yeah. Clayton was pulling up like dribbling straight backwards, turning around, firing up threes with like a minute left to tie and win the game. Absolutely crazy. So I actually has not been the best tournament, but I will say there's been some serious gem games, and Tech Florida was definitely one of the better March Madness games I've watched in recent memory. So we'll see. I think these last 3 games are going to be incredible because all 4 of these teams are fucking awesome and have tons of NBA talent on them, especially Duke, who has 3 fucking lottery picks. And Cooper Flag's the best player in college basketball. So that I would strongly recommend you all catch at least some of these games. And Duke is a machine. Like, if I had to bet on a team to win, it would be them. Nipples is the man. Knuppel.
Yeah, dude.
He's awesome, man. He is really awesome too. So it's annoying they're all on the same team, but I'm still riding with Houston. Big 12 solidarity. We have to play them twice a year, so I know how good they are. So we'll see. Looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah. Well, I haven't had a chance to catch anything just because I've been away and they don't have a college basketball league pass, and even if they did, I wouldn't have it. But I'm keen for Sunday for us, but Saturday for you guys to check out both of those games. I haven't seen like a full Cooper Flag game yet, so I'm excited to just, man. He looks like a Tatum clone to me though.
He is
from when I've watched all the highlights, and I saw Timph. It's crazy. Timph just catches so much shit now from Celtics fans because of last year's playoffs, because he was like, he comped him to Tatum, and he like had a line where Timph was like, and I mean this with all sincerity, and everybody's like, what do you mean? Why do you even have to say with all sincerity? And it's like, he's aware that everybody Celtics fans think he's going to come after him, so he can't win now with Celtics fans have made their opinions, but it makes sense, and it's like all the no one's led their team in points, rebounds, assists, and so like he does everything. He looks very Tatum-y to me.
Yeah, I would think, we've talked about like Tatum's primary attribute that makes him so great is he has 0 weaknesses, and Cooper Flag is the exact same type of guy. Same size, same level of ball handling and defensive versatility. He is a Tatum clone in a lot of ways, right down to going to Duke. So he's going to be awesome. Him and Dylan Harper are both going to be really, really awesome. So
he's going to be awesome on the Celtics.
Yeah, yes, please, Cooper. Please, Brad, make that work somehow. But all right, let's draft this shit up, man. I'm looking forward to it. And we need to have enough time to get through so I can talk about Alex Sarr for 20 minutes. But all right, so I think first pick, Risha Shea, I think is still the first pick, right? That's not controversial. Or I guess Castle, maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't get why the odds for Castle for Rookie of the Year are just set in stone. Like the numbers are very similar between Castle and Risha Shea. 14.3 points for Castle, 12.3 points for Risha Shea. Like Castle's playing slightly more minutes as well. Like, and the efficiency for Risha Shea has really come around in the kind of he couldn't shoot for the first part of the season, but I always thought that he looked like he could shoot, and it started to come around. He's up to 34.5% on the season, and do you see that he had like a Klay Thompson game? He had like 33 points on.
I was watching 9 dribbles.
Dude. Yeah. I was like, he's so clearly who I would take number 1 if the draft happened again, and I don't get why the Rookie of the Year race is not closer. Like the numbers are similar enough, and the efficiency's way in Risha Shea's favor. So, and he's on a 7 seed or an 8 seed versus I get that Castle's team probably is worse now that Wemby has gone down in a tough conference, but it at worst should be much closer. I don't see why it's a runaway for Castle. The Spurs media mafia doing their thing a little bit, but Risha Shea for me, man, that's who I would take. Big wing, skill, can shoot it, plays really hard, 2-way. That's the type of guy that I want to draft in the NBA.
I think there's been a lot of momentum with Castle due to the excitement surrounding Wembanyama and like those two having some nice chemistry early on. And it like Castle's kind of rode that because I'm with you. Like I was shocked to see Castle is like by far the favorite in Rookie of the Year. Like Riconchet, to me, it should be 50-50, like even money on either of them. I will say like, I think the argument for Castle, especially now that like Fox wasn't on the team and then he got hurt after like 15 games, and Castle's basically like one of their primary ball handlers, if not their primary ball handler, whereas Riconchet's like the fifth option, shooting wide open threes and like cutting and, you know, picking and popping and stuff like that. So I think Riconchet's level of difficulty for efficiency is a lot easier than Steph Castle's. And like Castle is truly an incredible defensive player for a guard. I think Ricochet will be a very, very good defender and probably will be more valuable defensively than Castle. But I think right now Castle just has more impact. And Castle's had big moments in big games. Like he's hit some big threes against teams. I think he had like a big three against OKC. And I don't like the basketball nerds just love Steph Castle, and I think that's driven a lot of the narrative. I know, I don't either. Like he looks smaller than 6'5" to me too. Like he's not 6'5".
But like to me, it's like and Rookie of the Year is fine. Like he's played great. You know, post All-Star break, that Ricochet is like 50-49, 50 like 48%, 39.5% from three. Like he's been awesome. But that's a fair point on the efficiency side of things. But then it's like, well, Castle's going to get it from more production. But it's like, of course he has more production. He's like got the ball in his hands all the time. So it's like, and this is why the awards thing is fun. And I think I saw Legler make a good point about this on his pod. Like, if anyone like is losing their mind and thinks they have the definitive answer to some of this stuff, like all of this is subjective. There's no rubric. There's no criteria to any of these awards. It's just like, it's Rookie of the Year. Here you go, Kendrick fucking Perkins. Make up your mind. It's like,
who cares?
Yeah. So getting a little upset about this stuff, I would caution people against. But if I'm redrafting, like, yeah, my thing about the nerds is like small guard, elite defensively. No question. Oh, yeah. I mean, it goes without saying that Baylor and Bronny James would go 1-2 in a redraft, I think. That was
yeah. Baylor, Bronny James, Anton Watson. I think top three.
And so, like, small guard, great defender, but, like, not efficient, can't shoot threes, doesn't have like, what's the shooting profile? Sub 30% from three, sub 70% from the free throw line, same kind of shooting profile in college. So like small guard that can't shoot. What are we talking about?
Mean, he's not small. He's listed at 6'5". I don't think he's 6'5". I would bet money he's closer to 6'3". But he's not small, you know, It's not like Isaiah Collier, but he's 6 inches shorter than Ricochet. Like, that
let's just say
God.
Yeah,
guard.
That can't shoot.
Period. Yeah, exactly. Period. And I don't think he's gonna profile to be like a true primary playmaker either. So he basically needs to shoot. And I don't think you can bet money that he will shoot at some point. So, I mean, I think Ricochet has proven maybe it's easier for him and has more open looks, but he's knocking him down, and he's getting stronger as the year goes on. And he's like 6'8", 6'9" with a ridiculous wingspan. So I think Rookie of the Year, I can see, 50-50 odds on that. But I think in a redraft, I have Ricochet pretty easily number one.
Yeah, I'm 100% with him. Just trying to find the catch and shoot numbers here. So Ricochet, 41.6% on catch and shoot. That's post All-Star. Never mind. So if I find the full,
still like, that's good.
That's what you're looking for. And then Castle is probably not getting a ton of opportunities here. He's not even coming up in the first page, so that's not going to help me, is it? He's shooting 30.6% on catch and shoot threes. Yeah. So very bad, obviously. So all right, I think we agree on Ricochet number one redraft. How do we want to do this? Should I go next, or do you want to take
just throw out who you have at 2, and I'll let you know if I agree, and then I'll do 3. Does that sound good? We'll just go back
from the
forth.
Chicago Bulls. Martas Buzelis, my guy. Every time I've watched the Bulls, even earlier in the season, I've been like, even coming out of the draft, I was like, I don't get why he fell that far, and Bulls fans being like, I can't believe we drafted this guy. Firstly, anyone that's upset about who they drafted in a flat draft at where there's not super talented, I think everyone needs to just take a break and see how it plays out. But 6'10", hyper athletic, skill, seems like a hard worker, and it looks like he can shoot. Give me that dude every day of the week.
Yeah, he's got like legitimate ball handling, legitimate burst off the dribble, and he's a high flyer. I worry a little bit about him defensively, but just being 6'10" and athletic means he will, it's not like some of the other small guards we're probably going to talk about very soon here. I have Buzelis 3. So I do have Castle at 2. I believe in the I believe in the defense, and I think he will be able to shoot it at a higher enough clip where you need to guard him. And then once that happens, Castle's very dynamic off the dribble. I think he makes the right play. I think he'll fit really nicely next to Fox and Wemby. But I have Buzelis at 3. He's been awesome. He just looks the part. And that's really dumb to say, but he just looks like he belongs in the NBA and has looked really, really comfortable recently. I was watching the Lakers Bulls game, and Giddey was amazing, but like Buzelis is just out there doing the right stuff already, and like he just does things, which is again like not super detailed analysis, but he's up for it, man. Like I think he's going to be really, really good. Like the ball handling, the shooting, the athleticism, the maybe won't suck on defense. Like he's got a super high ceiling, probably the highest ceiling of anyone in this draft.
Yeah, I think maybe it depends on your philosophy a little bit here. Like I can see maybe Castle's floor being a little bit higher just because like you're getting all defense stuff. I agree, and like some of the stuff when Castle gets into the paint, he can like just get 2 feet in the paint and dunk on like a wing.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. So I like him as a player, but I'm not sure I see the star upside in.
That's fair.
But if he learns to shoot, then I do probably see it because he's that athletic and he has that defense as well. But I don't have Castle at 3 either.
I see you might as well. I can see your list, so why don't you throw out who you've got 3? Because I have this guy 4.
Okay. Jared McCain, Philadelphia 76ers. And it's easy to forget. I know. And they're going to maybe like slither out of this Joel Embiid, Paul George thing. Because if they get like lottery luck in this draft, that looks really good coming up. Because they've moved into the 5th best odds, I think, for keeping their top 6 protected pick. Like if they could get Cooper Flag. I think they have a 10% chance as of today, which is, that'd be so disgusting. That'd be so disgusting if that happened. But
no, dude.
But even if it's not him, if it's like 3, 4, 5, and they get to pair him with Maxey, and forget Jared McCain. He played only 21 games this season. He was 15 points a game on 59% true shooting, 38% from 3. And it was like high volume, relocation. Like this dude was immediately like a really, really, really high level offensive player. And he was given like shades of Steph Curry with the, getting rid of the ball, relocating in the corner, putting pressure on the defensive pick and roll. I was like, this dude is immediately a high impact offensive player, and defensively small. He's actually small and will struggle, I think, long term. But I was like, I couldn't see this guy developing into an offensive star immediately.
Yeah, man. I mean, it sort of feels like when Maxey came on the scene, and like they're different types of players, but where it's just like, okay, small guard, and that's basically the only knock on him, at least offensively. He's really good. He's got a little bit off the bounce, so you can run second side actions with him. He can handle a pick and roll. I think as he gets more comfortable in the NBA, the playmaking will grow. He's got good physical tools. He's not a hyper athlete like Maxey was, but he's a good enough athlete, and he's really smart. He just knows how to play. And like if the shooting's real, and I see no reason to think it's not, yeah, damn it. That's so
Damn it.
annoying that Philly got him. I do say I have Castle over him just because I think McCain's going to be a serious issue defensively for them, especially next to Maxey. But taking that out, like, I think McCain will be the type of guy you can pick on in a playoff series, possession after possession. And I think I'd rather have Castle with, like, if Castle learns to shoot, he's like considerably better than McCain. So I'm willing to bet on that. Whereas McCain, clearly a higher floor, just given the offensive talents.
Oh, man, I struggle with the guys that just have shown no... Like, what's the case for Castle learning to shoot, I guess, besides that people can learn to shoot?
I think it looks pretty good. Like, I think his jumper looks solid.
Okay.
He's got, like, the maniacal work ethic. Like, he's one of those crazy people that, like, you know, top 5% worker in the NBA. He's going to have Fox and Wemby taking a lot of defensive attention away from him. So, like, he'll be able to get easier looks next year when those guys are healthy. Because he's taken a lot of bad threes.
Yes.
They can't generate good looks in that offense. He's taken a lot of pull-ups, although the catch and shoot numbers are dog shit too. So I'm betting on Castle being able to shoot. I understand like why you would have McCain over him. But man, I think that Castle can be like the total package if he can shoot the ball, which is a big if, admittedly.
I kind of feel similarly with McCain defensively. Like, I think that the way that he fought, because I agree, like, this is a limitation you have with size, but I think about what Pritchard's been able to do defensively and how he's grown on that end. I think McCain, even Maxey's gotten better defensively over the past couple of seasons. I think you can get better as a smaller player defensively.
Totally.
And if he's smart, has quick hands, can he just be fine? I agree, like, the pairing of Maxey and McCain could be tricky. So that's totally fair. But yeah, I maybe I'm a little too low on Castle, or maybe I'm just pushing back on some of the hype. Maybe I'm just pushing back on Icy in the Discord for being a Castle truther. Maybe, yeah, it could be that too. But all right,
okay, before we go to number 4,
all right,
this is insanity that you have Alex Sarr at 4 and I have him at 5.
No, I don't. See, that's the thing. I actually
you don't?
have.
Okay.
No, see,
oh, that's not your order. Okay, right,
yeah.
right.
It's I wrote it in general order, but then in my brain I had a couple.
Okay, my bad. I didn't mean to blow up your spot there.
That's fine.
So,
how dare you?
do you have Castle at 4 then?
No, I have Castle at 6 still.
Okay, all right. Who do you have at 4? Because we've hit top 4.
I think I'm gonna have to. I'm putting Castle at 5. I'm going Castle at 5. But I have Ware at 4.
Okay, I've got him at 8.
Okay, who's your 4?
My 4 is Jared McCain.
Oh yeah,
my
okay.
5 is Alex Sarr.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's zoom in on the Sarr Ware piece of this.
Okay.
What's the case for Sarr over Ware?
I think he has a much higher chance of being able to switch, essentially. Okay. I think he has a chance of being like one of the most versatile defensive bigs in the NBA. Do I think he's going to get there? I have no idea.
Chance. Higher chance.
There's a chance though. And I think when you can find a guy like that, it's worthwhile exploring. I don't know how to evaluate Sarr's offense. I suspect it's
fair,
as bad as advertised and as it looks, but like that
better than
Wizards
Summer League, better than what we saw when he went 0 for 16 or whatever it was.
I think it was 1 for 17, Jake. No, I don't know. I have no. It was bad. It was really bad. But he's also like not really getting any favors done on that dog shit Washington team. Like I'd like to see what he looks like with Tyler Hero running pick and roll with him. I think the finishing is bad, and he needs to figure out like how to finish at the rim. His touch is not great. But I think like offensively, I don't see why Sarr couldn't do what Ware does. In the future, I think Sarr has some ball handling skills, and like Sarr's shooting it better than I expected him to. He's like floating around 32, 33%. So I think the defensive versatility, they're pretty similar offensive players. I just think Sarr is worse than Ware on both sides of the ball right now. but I think the ceiling of Sarr is why I had him number one pre-draft. Like, he's tantalizing prospect, Jake.
All good points. All good
Thank
points.
you.
Man, he struggles to put the orange ball in the basket as well as he should for someone that's that large. To have a 12% gap in true shooting between him and Ware is not good. And most of that is because of the 2-point shooting, not the 3-point shooting, because their 3-point number, Sar's actually shooting it better from 3. No, it's very close. It's basically the same. But it's like the 2-point numbers are just like, bro, what are we doing here?
It's
and
crazy.
hopefully you're looking up the rim numbers for me right now. But I think defensively what I've seen, and again, am I going to pretend that I've watched more than 10 Wizards games or more than 10 Heat games? Probably seen more Heat games than Wizards games this season. But like, from what I've seen some like very terrifying Khalil Ware sequences and moments where I'm like, holy I think it was against the Cavs, maybe, the game that I was watching, where the Heat broke one of the Cavs' winning streaks. And I was like, this dude is everywhere. Actually, that's right. The Heat went up big against the Knicks, and Ware was like a catalyst for how they were destroying them. And the Heat choked away another big lead, obviously. But when I've seen Ware like at his peaks, I've been like, dude, this guy, he kind of almost looks like, I don't want to whisper it a little bit, like Wemby-ish at times. I'm like, no one saw him coming. But Sarr has also had like some crazy defensive flashes as well. So I will totally concede that part, and the switching part's fair. I don't see Ware as much of a switching guy, more just like a pure rim protection guy. But I think that's fine. If you're going to be an elite rim protector, it's okay if you can't also switch at a super high level.
Yeah, no, I think Ware's going to be a very, very good player, and it's annoying that the Heat
Another
got him.
annoying one.
Yeah, I know, extremely annoying. I will say on the shooting, Sarr slightly better percentage. He's taken 5 a game, and Khalil Ware's taken 1.7. So I think Ware will be like, we'll dare this guy to shoot. Maybe he's going to shoot like 36% on those attempts, but you're okay with it. I don't know where Sarr's shooting is going, but I do think if he's at like 37% on 5-6 attempts a game, man, that's like kind of changes who he is as a player. And he shot it well enough this year that I think that's
but that's such a big gap between what he just did to 37.5% would have him better than fucking Miles Turner.
Yeah, maybe wide open shots.
Hey,
man.
yeah.
I'm an Alex Sarr believer. I can't.
You really are. I love it,
man. And like, he's had possessions in this crap Wizards defense where he's like switching, getting back to the rim, blocking shots. Like, I don't know, man. I think his dog shit basketball IQ could well see him out of the league in 5 years. I also could see him as being like, hey man, he figured it out and he's a really, really good player. I think Ware is almost certainly going to be a solid starter for his entire career. And with a chance to be better than that, but I just think like Ware has no chance to be a solid switchable big. And it just kind of limits exactly how good you can be, even though I think Ware can be very, very good. So that's why I got slight edge to Sarr. And there's just some guys I really like that I have above Ware, even though looking at it, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to put Ware up to 6 and bump down my other 2 guys. You've convinced me.
Honestly, though, through that conversation, I think I've moved Castle back down to 6. And I think the reason is because, like, what is the type of output player that I value highest? Sure. It's like the versatile wings and these big men that can be skilled offensively, versatile offensively, and anchor your defense. Like, what's like Castle's ceiling? Are we talking like Drew Holiday would be the ceiling?
Yeah, I think so.
And that's again, we're projecting crazy shooting progression. And there's a guy on our team that experienced crazy shooting progression in Derek White, but he was never as bad of a shooter as Stephen Castle was. Like, he was always like pretty solid from memory. I think he was like a 33, 34.
He had
35.
one very bad year, if I recall, but yeah, he's always been floating in like the low 30s.
Yeah, I mean, his first season he shot 61%, but on probably
there you go.
on 13
Like
attempts.
20
But
attempts,
yeah, 61, 34, 30. Yeah, like he had one season where he shot 31%, but that was after his first 3 seasons of being like 34, 35%. So he already profiled as a good shooter. So like for me, it's like Ware and Sarr project as like these potential, and we're talking ceiling again. If you're at the top of the draft, I'm trying to draft someone that can like change my franchise. It's like these guys are projecting as like high level defensive anchors, and then also like we've seen how valuable having big men that can do things offensively, whether it's passing, shooting, rim running, and if these two guys can do multiple of those things, that's just so valuable when you're talking about trying to win playoff games.
Yeah, for sure. And I do have SAR's rim numbers here.
Uh-oh.
So less than 5 feet, 61%, which is terrible for a 7-footer, but not like completely
It's okay.
awful.
Better than I thought it was going to be.
The problem is 5 to 9. He has taken 138 attempts and he's at 28%.
Right.
And 10 to 14 feet, he's got 48 attempts and he's at 29%. So it's really like the more the floater range that's a real problem. He's just taken way too many.
I was going to say, I think that's the problem is more of the shots that he's taking, which I think you can figure that shit out. Like even, Tatum, how much he worked on his shot profile and working on the better value shots and also the shots that he's better at. Like if Sarr can just like get stronger, get more decisive and like getting to the spots that he's going to be more effective at, then that probably makes the true shooting gap between Ware and Sarr a lot closer. All right, we're going to have to start.
Yeah, we got to rip through some of these. Okay,
moving
I
on
think
here.
we have the same top 6, just in a different order.
Yeah. Okay.
7, I have Jaylen Wells.
Okay. I've got Wells at 8 and
Fair.
Reed. I still have him at 7. I feel like it's so hard with Reed. He hasn't played this season.
I am at
Think
17.
Oh no.
I don't know, man. He's that's probably gonna be dumb. I think I'm definitely overreacting to his rookie season, but he just looks really small and unathletic.
He
to me.
looks really
Anytime
small.
he gets minutes, it's tough to get over that for me.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I've got Jared McCain at 3 for a lot of his offensive stuff. It's like if Reed could actually have gotten some of those minutes, I can't drop him all the way down because
That's fair.
He hasn't played well enough. But if you wanted to tell me I should have Wells, I still have Topic at 9. I don't know what to do with him.
I know
but,
nothing about him.
yeah,
I just didn't include him.
And then I have a group of Klingon, Edie, and Quentin Post at 10, 11, and 12. And yeah, I don't know.
I have Klingon in the exact same spot. I have Edie at 9 because I didn't include Topic. And then I have Bub Carrington at 11. I didn't know what to do with Post. I mean,
I don't know, dude. Fucking shooting 41% from 3.
I know.
And he's saved their season almost.
So the thing about Post is that he went to Boston College, and I have a tough time getting over that. So no, it's I have watched a handful of Warriors games this year, non-Celtics Warriors games, and he has been awful in every single one I've watched.
Shit.
And then all I hear is people saying how good he is, and I check the numbers, and he's over 40%. I don't think I've ever seen him make a shot.
That's crazy because I've literally only seen him just cook, and I'm like, how'd you get this guy at 52, dude? What is going on?
I am biased against Quentin Post through my eye test, but he deserves to be somewhere in the late lottery, late the teens somewhere, depending on what you're looking for. So he's in there somewhere for me. And then Bub.
So I've got Bub at 15.
Yeah, that's fair. I have Ron Holland in this mix too. I have him at 8, right behind Jaylen Wells.
Okay.
Even though I just believe in the athleticism and the defensive upside. I don't know. Holland, I really question whether he'll ever be able to shoot. And then if he can't, he probably should be like 30, but who knows? I just think he's so athletic and he's like Tony Allen style mentality that he's got me enchanted, even though there's some serious questions. I think you having him lower than the top 10 is totally reasonable.
I have Holland at 13. And then honestly, like I have Eves Missy at 14. He's just been like a rebounding machine, but like I don't feel good really after 12. After the Kling and Edie post group, I'm like, you could talk me into Filipowski or De Silva or
I have Ryan Dunn.
Dunn. I've got on my list here. I like 18. It's like I could move these guys way up and down. The shooting that everyone was like, oh my god, he can shoot. He doesn't seem like he is a good shooter yet. Like that fell off pretty quickly. But the fact that he was able to help this Suns team at all is very impressive.
Yeah, agreed. And like the shooting, I think to me is the fact that he never took them in college, and the fact that he's had runs where he's taking and making them in the NBA is really encouraging because he is an elite defensive player. So it gives him a nice floor when you're drafting in like the mid-teens or early 20s. So I think Dunn's pretty solid. Flip, I didn't really know what to do with. He's 7 feet. He makes threes. He can dribble, pass, and shoot, man. That's who I wanted at 30. I have him pretty high. I have him at like 15, 14, 15. He sucks defensively, though. Like, he sucks defensively. So that's a problem for a center. De Silva, I really like, too.
He's good. I don't know. Do you have any guys that, like, you just have liked what you've seen? So part of this is what we saw at Summer League. Terrence Shannon, and when he came in when the Wolves lost, like, all their dudes, I was like, this is exactly he's just doing exactly what he did at Summer League and in college. He's like a giant guy that is really good at attacking the rim and like has shooting questions. But like, I love how hard he plays. I love how big he is, and he's able to get to the rim and finish. Yeah. So I really like him. I get that you don't want to put someone that's that old, that high, who still can't shoot, because I'm like, you know, that how likely is he going to be to figure that part out? But I just really like watching him. And then the other guy I have bolded is AJ Johnson, that went in the Bucks trade for Kuzma, which he is again March, April basketball, grain of salt. But dude is like a crazy athlete, high upside lottery ticket, and it's like, bro, that's gonna be brutal for the Bucks, dude, if he ends up becoming good, because like they just traded him for Kuzma, and I've gone from like I thought the Kuzma trade was a joke to then I saw it like being, oh, maybe I kind of see it, and then it was like, oh, he's just gonna be left wide open and shoot 28% from three, and they may as well have just kept Middleton and AJ Johnson. If he becomes good, that's just gonna be like twisting the knife.
Yeah, they're this has a chance to be a disaster for the Bucks. You absolutely hate to see it. Yeah, my guy that I'm irrationally high on, maybe not irrationally in the case of Terrence Shannon and AJ Johnson for you, but this is irrational. Keyshawn George. 6'7". He's looked like solid defensively. He's only shooting 34% from three. But he's got legitimate athleticism, great size, and I think he will be a plus shooter. And I don't know, man. Something I like about his game. I just think he's really smooth, and I think he's going to be like a 1 through 4 switchable wing that can shoot threes. And when you're drafting in the late teens, like, I love it. And he's on this Wizards team, and he's like looks solid defensively on the Wizards. Makes me think he's probably a better defensive player than that. So he's never going to be an on the ball playmaker or like a dude who can run a pick and roll, but I think he really could project to a very solid, like really good 3-and-D wing who can drive a closeout, and you just need dudes like that.
I watched the game that they beat Denver, where they beat Denver twice this year, actually.
A month ago or whatever.
19 points, 6 for 11, 4 for 8, like big shots, 7 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, a block. I was like, okay, Keyshawn George. So yeah, I like that one. I'm just gonna name guys. We just name guys for a minute here. Jamal Shed.
You know me. We love Jamal Shed on this podcast. He's our guy.
Iguodaro for the Suns as well. I know there's a lot of love for him in the Discord.
I don't see it with him, man. Every time I watch them, he's just like a body to me. I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm whatever. I don't know. Question: would you rather have Iguodaro or Baylor?
Baylor for sure.
Shout out Baylor Scheinman, by the way. Looked pretty solid in the last.
He's in the mix
here. Pell Larson. Maybe
recency bias for sure,
Sure.
but he's played big minutes the last 3 games and has looked really good. Good size. He's a wing, dribble, pass, shoot. What about Dillingham, dude? Because I have him way down.
Again, the archetype. I'm like, what are you, dude? You're just like a kind
Lou
of
Williams,
efficient. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Your
at
ceiling
best.
is Lou Williams, and probably not Lou Williams. Yeah, I'm not a fan. But he made some great plays in what was it against the Nuggets? Oh my god, yeah, that 61-point triple-double game. He had an awesome steal and dunk going back the other way against Jokic. Like, I don't know, maybe. But people were freaking out that like the Wolves got this like tiny, skinny microwave scoring guard. And I'm like, I don't know. When is that type of player?
Should just
helping?
take Dalton Connect. You know?
Yeah,
He'd be
Connect,
better
another
off.
guy. Gonna have a 10-year career probably. Devin Carter for the Kings. He was really good against the Celtics in Boston, but
I don't think he's been good otherwise.
yeah,
though.
me neither. Mogbo, I like Mogbo.
Yeah, I like Mogbo on the Raptors, switchable big man. I believe your quote was, "Is anyone really like? I can't believe we missed on Mogbo, but maybe now. I don't
Maybe.
know. He's okay." Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's really anyone else we haven't talked about. I didn't know what to do with the injured guys. Isaiah Collier's had some moments in Utah this year, but he's like Dillingham. He's a little bulky. He's a lot bulkier than Dillingham,
big
which
boy.
I think helps, but he's not the fast twitch athlete that Dillingham is. But he's, he'd probably be a backup guard for a long time, and they picked him, 31 or 29, whatever it was. So that's not bad.
Hell yeah. I don't have anybody else besides Bronny. So,
Who we already said is going.
yeah, clearly going number one. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's it's interesting. Like the draft was billed as a bad draft. Would you say that was accurate?
I think so this is like the reverse is happening this year where everyone's calling this a great draft, and it's actually kind of bad outside of the top 2, depending on how you feel about Ace Bailey. But this draft, it was like there was no top 2. There was no top 3 of dudes who are like, we think these guys are going to be superstars. But this draft is deep as hell, man. Like, Deron Holmes hasn't even played a game. Lots of people love Deron Holmes. Topic, no idea, but he went pretty high. Maybe he's going to be good. But we just listed off, what, 20 guys who will probably have solid NBA
We listed
careers?
some guys.
Yeah. 10 guys who will have solid NBA
Yeah,
careers.
there's some dudes naming some guys on this pod, which is always,
It's our favorite pastime.
Yeah. It's the origin of sports podcast, man. We're just dudes naming guys.
Died
Nothing-
saying dudes.
Yeah.
But, all right, we should get out of here. It's getting late over on the East Coast,
Hell
brother.
yeah,
But
brother.
that was fun, Jake. Welcome back. We will let everybody know when we're recording
Yeah.
next. I think Monday
Tomorrow-
at the latest.
Tomorrow,
okay, yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
get we got playbacks back for the Suns game tomorrow. And we'll get someone on for late night tomorrow. So yeah, we're back. Let's do it.
Full steam ahead, baby. All right, we're
Playoffs.
out. See everybody. Peace.